What is good, YouTube? Welcome back to another video. In this video, I'm going to break down every single play that I took last week. I'm going to tell you exactly why I took every play, and I'm going to show all the winners and losers. And at the end, I'll show you a breakdown of my profit and loss for the week. Now, you've seen the title. You already know we had a banger week this week, which is kind of ironic because I normally don't bet on college, and 3 of the days was betting on college this week. Before I get into these plays, a quick little disclaimer first, because I normally don't bet on college basketball, but you're going to see a lot of college picks in this video. I honestly got a little lucky here. I typically don't bet college, and there's a pretty big reason for that. My usual strategy relies heavily on injury situations and role shifts. So projecting usage changes when those key players sit is harder in college, and it translates much cleaner in NBA, NFL, MLB, sports like that. The rotations are just so much more predictable, and college basketball is way more volatile. The roles are changing constantly, the minutes can swing game to game, and the coaching decisions and matchup adjustments can completely flip usage in ways that are way harder to model consistently. The only reason I even touched college basketball this week is because it was All-Star weekend, and I wanted to test out my NBA strat that I've been really liking on college, and it paid off pretty well. I treated it more like a short-term opportunity than like a long-term strategy that I'll continue to use. That said, I still approach these the same way that I approach all my bets, focusing on the opportunity metrics. So minutes, touches, chances, anything like that, especially with a key role shift. With the college plays, I basically just stacked the head-to-head trends and the hit rates, which was usually 100% on all these plays. So yeah, good results, but I'm not gonna suddenly become a college basketball specialist. It was more of a short-term thing, and honestly, I got pretty lucky with a lot of these plays. Anyway, let's jump right in. On Monday, I had one play. I took Milan assists and Patrick assists as well. So this was the ISU game and the Duke game. And my reasoning behind these was pretty simple. Again, I'll keep the college plays brief because there's less value in how I found those than there is the NBA picks later on in this video. So for Milan, this was an extremely low line compared to his typical involvement in the offense. He basically just needed one single created possession. For his recent form showed improving playmaking touches despite low counting stats early in that stretch. And his averages were, around 1, a little over 1 as a baseline. Head-to-head, all these college plays had a 100% head-to-head hit rate. Now, teams and everything changed so much in college, so it doesn't matter as much, and I really like to look at the head-to-head matchups when I'm betting on more volatile picks. So, for Patrick, strong consistency, 7 out of 10 over his last 10 games. His median assist output was around 2. It was more than that. And Duke's offensive structure allows bigs to facilitate through high post sets, and that increases assist chances. So, good opponent tempo and defensive structure helps our play out. Again, that head-to-head hit rate was 100%, and the projection built on roll stability rather than variance, and ended up working out nicely for us. Milan got 2, and Patrick got his exactly 2 that we needed. Both these were 1.5x plays, so pretty bad payout, to be honest. I probably shouldn't have put 2 units on this play, but I did. So we ended up profiting a little over $6,000. 7,740 to be exact. So day 1 Monday, we're up 7,700, and that brings us into Tuesday. Tuesday was a little worse. I had 2 plays that I really liked. The Tyler play was a solid write-up, and so was the second guy. I don't even know how the hell you say his name, to be honest with you. He almost hooked us. If he had gotten 10, it probably would have been even more sad, so I'm kind of glad he got 7. And this was a pretty good payout, too, on a college slip. So starting with Tyler, strong long-term consistency again, 75% hit rate across his last 20, so he's been cooking recently. Median output's around 24, so, about 3.5 above the line. And his usage is pretty stable with the UCLA offensive sets, especially in those half-court possessions. So strong scoring, rebounding combination profile, and that suits, points, rebound stat. And again, head-to-head was 100% on this. So into the second play, strong hit rate, 80% of his last 5, average hitting around 10.8. Michigan matchup projected higher rebound due to the pace differential, so that's another good thing with rebounds and assists and points, honestly, all of it. That's a key indicator. Those matchup pace stats are really good to look at, especially if you're betting NBA. His assist upside tied to high touch forward role in offense, and then historical consistency and head-to-head hit rates, like I said, 100%, made this statistically a good play. I honestly don't even hate the write-up. I probably could have done more research, and I might have found something that steered me away from the play and saved me $6,000. Either way, we now are down to only a profit of $1,740 for the week. So we won on Monday, lost on Tuesday. Luckily, our wins covered our losses there. Still always sucks to lose a 2-unit play like that. Coming into Wednesday, another 2-unit college play. This one was solid. I had Chase Ross and Anthony Roy. For Chase, he had 8 out of 10. Median assist output was around 4, and his line was 2.5. So that's a really big differential, especially when the line is that low. Their guard-heavy offense funnels creation opportunities through him, and opponent tempo projected enough possessions for multiple assist chances. Again, that tempo that we were talking about before. And then finally, the hit rate, head-to-head. So he had a stable floor there, and I knew he was going to destroy this line. This is such a low number, and it's a 1.6. It was priced into the play, but still a pretty safe bet. For Roy, he's a strong volume shooter. He's hitting 8 to 10, averages, around 3.5 makes per game, and the offensive scheme designed around perimeter pacing, and that gives him much more consistent catch and shoot opportunities. So the opponent defensive profile allows outside attempts, and that's exactly where he shines. So, put all that together, and you have a good 3-pointer prop. So that was a good win. We needed that to kick the week back in, and with that, we're up $11,400 for the week. Now, come Thursday, I had 2 plays. NBA was back. I was pretty excited. I put in a 2-unit play and a 1-unit play. I probably would have put more on this if I had a better payout. It was 2.77. If it was like a 3x, I would have put two bands or 2 units on it. And I honestly regret putting a little more because I really like the write-ups on these. For the second play, I took Jabari Smith and VJ Edgecombe, points, rebounds, and rebounds. And this was a 3.1x. So I put 2 units on it. Really good payout, really good props. And I love the write-up. So let's break each of these 4 down for you guys. This is my specialty, NBA, NFL, MLB. Those are my favorites. Right now, it's obviously all NBA. So that's what I primarily stick with, other than those college picks that you just saw, because it was All-Star Weekend and there's no NBA games. So for Wemby, historical matchup showed clear struggle, only 20 PRA in prior meeting despite heavy minutes. The opponent profiles as a top 10 transition defense and bottom half in pace, and that limits Wemby's primary scoring pathway, which is the transition zone. And the trend is under in all games versus teams that slow in tempo and that force half-court execution. So the defensive strategy focused on denying early touches and forcing role player usage. And that was just the perfect storm of matchup. And I took him under 37.5 PRA, and he only got 32 that game. Despite them scoring 121 and actually winning the game. So good play there. I also faded Bridges here, so his assist potential was declining with Jose Alvarado. His assist potential was declining with Alvarado handling more primary creation, and low potential assist totals in similar matchups now. Under in the majority of games versus top assist defenses, the passing volume reduced significantly when he's sharing the floor with Brunson, Hart, and Towns, and statistical profile suggests ceiling capped due to his role shift, right? So he's capped there. He's not going to get that many assists, and his volume just increases or decreases so much with Brunson, Hart, and Towns that under 3.5 was free, literally. And yeah, exactly. He got 0 that game. So good fade there. Should have put more on this. I'm always slightly hesitant to put more on fades, like these 2 unders here. Simply because, game goes to OT, and most of the time, you're cooked. I mean, Bridges still probably would have went under, but Wemby, you never know. So for the second play, 2-unit play, Jabari Smith Jr., points, rebounds. He's over in 7 of 10, averaging 22.7 during that stretch. Increased spacing due to teammates drawing defensive attention, boosted scoring opportunities, and the Hornets are top tier production to forwards. Consistent minutes plus his rebound chances create multiple paths to score, and he cooked. He went over. For Edgecombe, he's over in 8 of 11 without key teammates, whoever he was missing in that game. I don't remember exactly who it was. The Hawks are top 10 in rebound production and struggle specifically with small guard rebounders. The Hawks allow top 10 rebound production and struggle specifically with shooting guard rebounders. So it's perfect for him. 10 plus rebound chances in all comparable matchups recently, and a strong correlation between rebound chances and clearing the line, with 19 out of 22 when he gets 10 plus chances. So again, I'm honing in on that opportunity more than the actual box score data, and I think you guys should as well when you're specifically looking at NBA picks. NBA is the perfect sport to do that with. So, amazing day. We went up 12 grand profit and 5 grand profit on those two plays, bringing our total up almost 20 grand for the week, for the day there. So that brings our weekly total to $29,250. At this point, we're cooking. I could low-key stop for the week. My goal every week is 25 grand. But, NBA is back. I'm low-key on a crazy streak right now. So I kept playing. And Friday, I took Nipple and Portis, and we cooked. This was the alt line, 13 points. He ended up getting 33, but, it's a 1.1x payout, so nothing crazy. I put 1.5 units on it. He came into this on a 6-game clearing streak. His roster had plenty of absences, shifting his usage, so opportunity like we talked about. His scoring role expanded, and more designed sets and perimeter looks came from that role shift. So over 40% of his shot attempts come from above the break threes, and where he shoots over 40%, and he's shooting over 40% on the season from that spot. Opponent defensive profile suggests defending that exact zone, allowing high volume perimeter scoring, right? So his volume, nearly 5 threes a game, gives him multiple scoring chances to clear, meaning he doesn't need extreme efficiency. He's going to cook on this line. And it's an all line, 13 points is free for him. He got 33. For Portis, he had a clear usage spike without Giannis, and historically split so dramatic scoring increases in those situations. So the Pelicans are top 5 in points allowed to spot up and post scorers, and that's Portis' 2 primary scoring methods. So when he sees 25 plus minutes without Giannis, he clears at an elite rate. Minutes scoring, they correlate strongly for him, and he doesn't rely on that self-creation. So again, role expansion plus the perfect defensive profile, and that is my favorite way to find plays. I honestly would have put more money on this if it wasn't a 1.95x. If this Portis play was like 1.8, it would have jumped up a ton, and I would have probably put 2 units on it, to be honest. But a win's a win, and that brings us out of Friday. At this point in the week, we are up 33 grand, 33.5K. So for Saturday, we had another loss. This one was brutal. The Dern play was low-key free, and the Reed Shepherd play almost hooked us on that one too, which is absolutely brutal. I probably should have put less units on this simply because the payout wasn't that good, but I was so confident that I just went for it anyway. And that's a mistake that everyone's going to make. So for the Dern double-double, the projection was heavily minutes-based. Without Isaiah Stewart, Dern previously logged 37 and 40 minutes in similar situations. In those games, he's easily cleared double-double territory with both scoring and rebounding volume. The Bulls allow top-tier center production in combined points rebounds. Historical trend showed 7 straight double-doubles in similar minute splits, and the logic was pretty strong here. Elite rebound chances plus the interior scoring matchup, and this game came down to an in-game flow and variance. Not really a process on that one. So, pretty free pick. Again, it was priced in 1.57x, not the best payout. But I paired it with Reed Shepherd. The Knicks allow top 3 scoring to pick and roll ball handlers, and that's his primary scoring mechanism. You guys know how I match those up with point props. Shot volume was stable, 10 plus attempts in most comparable matchups. The efficiency threshold was key here. Historically, he cleared it when shooting 34% or better. And this was a volume plus matchup play. Shots simply didn't convert, and we didn't get our pick. But it's okay. That brings us down $7,000 from the 33K we were at, bringing us to $27,000 for the week. And that brings us to Sunday. Sunday, I had a crazy play, 3.4x. That's the biggest payout on a two-leg that I've had in a long time. And both of these cleared comfortably. I mean, this was a 20K payout. I'm gonna drop an Instagram reel on this as well. Check out my IG, elijahpicks. Tons of value on there. But to start, let's look at cat points. So this prop write-up is for 22.5. I ended up getting stuck with 23.5 as I sent the play in. Thank God it still cashed. Normally I would say to cancel it, but I was so confident that I just sent it. So 23.5, this is the write-up for 22.5. Elite historical dominance for Chicago. He's cleared it in 6 straight meetings with massive averages, crushing this line. The Bulls allow top-tier paint scoring, the second most assists to centers, and high three-point production from bigs. So great matchup here. He takes over half his shots in the restricted area, and that's where Chicago ranks near the bottom defensively. He also generates assists in off-rim collapses and kickouts, giving him 2 passes to clear this. And the multi-category combo lines are powerful when a player impacts both scoring and playmaking. It wasn't just a scoring bet, it was usage plus the matchup geometry. Great play, 2 units on it, especially with that 3.4x payout. Love to see that. So for the Pritchard play, this was full scoring role without Anfernee Simons. So he's averaging 22.5 points per game in that split. That's a crazy difference. Usage rate and shot attempts spike significantly when Simons is out, and the Lakers allow top 5 scoring to point guards and struggle against quick perimeter shot creators. That's exactly what he is. There's a strong correlation between 15 plus field goal attempts and clearing this number, and he's been cruising past that attempt number. And this was a pure volume mispricing spot. I think, honestly, the market completely lagged behind on this play. I think it should have been priced more around maybe 20.5, at least 19.5 though. So I got in good, and that kind of made up for my 23.5 here on Cat, which was semi a mistake, but then I kind of just sent it. So that wraps up the week for us, putting us at $40,000 profit. Total, we staked $43,500 and we won $84,225. That puts our profit and loss at $40,725 for the week. Crazy week. I can't wait to add this up for February. We've had a crazy week, even with a full week of February where I didn't bet because I had food poisoning. It's been an insane week. Very happy with my plays, even with 2 losing days, which normally, 2 losing days, usually I'll have 1 losing day. I'm pretty good about that now, but we placed 8 bets in 7 days, so I'm not at all upset with 2 losing plays. And we still went up 40K. So crazy week overall. If you guys are looking for an app to use, I'll tell you exactly which one I use. It's called Chalkboard. I think it is the best app for starting or scaling. If you've watched my content, you know that I focus on the low risk prop strategies, pairing an alt line with another straight to, essentially make a 2x payout. Maximize promos and alt lines, which is literally free money. And then their bankroll efficiency, right? So most apps are built to make you lose faster, but this one is a little different. The reason I use it, when you sign up with code ZPX, you get $100 free promo credit to start betting with. You get a 100% deposit match, which essentially doubles your starting bankroll. You get a free half a point pick, like LeBron over half a point, you can add to your play. You get the best odds out of all the under 21 betting apps. And you get customer service that actually responds fast, right? So you start with double capital, more shots at profitable plays, and a way lower risk, especially when you're learning. So why this matters is most beginners lose because they start with too little bankroll, they chase those high-risk bets, and they don't use your promos correctly, right? Using those promos and the deposit matches gives you positive expected value right off the bat. You get margin for mistakes while you're learning, and you get better scaling when you start actually winning. This is exactly how I started building my bankroll. This is the exact app that I used, and it's the app that I still use today, even though I'm over 21 and I could use other apps. So how to start? Download Chalkboard, use code ZPX, and that'll get you those promos that I was talking about. If you don't use it, you don't get the promos. So that's literally the whole point. You have to use the code. And lock in with my strategy videos and start practicing your bets. If you want, hop in the Discord. It's completely free. That's where I can talk to all you guys. You can talk to me. So don't overthink it. Use code ZPX, grab the free money, and start building your edge. Anyways, that is it from me. Hop in the Discord. Use Chalkboard, code ZPX, get all your promos, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Love you guys. Peace.